I want to talk about when you're renting from a rental company, renting anything from a rental company, okay? It's very important to know who you're renting from and what you're renting, okay? Don't look at a picture online, on a website, on Instagram, and say, oh, I want that same arch in green, and think that's exactly what you're gonna get. That's not always the case. It's happened here several times, and the other film hunters happened several times. I rented a pink arch. They come, it's like baby pink. It has scratches and dents and dings, or it was just painted. Know what you're renting. Make sure it's on your contract. Also know that if you're paying for delivery, they have to deliver it, they have to set it up, and you have to pick it up and you have to take it out. Okay, if you're paying for delivery, they have to do that, okay? Stop letting them say, we can't deliver at this time, we can't drop off at this time. You have to know that in advance. Before you pay, make sure they confirm they can drop off at that time. They confirm they can pick up at that time. It's not the venue's job to give them extra time. It's not the venue's job to say, hey, you can come the night before, the day after. We're booked up, we have events. If it's possible, and they're willing to pay, and a fee, an overnight fee, a storage fee, it's workable. But nothing is free in this world. The same way they're charging to deliver and to pick up and to drop off, a venue's gonna charge for any extra services they want, okay? So here's an example. We had an event one time, they dropped off an arch, this is not the arch. Let me turn off this alarm because it keeps going off and it's scaring my clients, even though there's no clients here right now. Here's what happened. A couple of times, actually. So, a rental company would drop this off, right? And a lot of times they'll get upset because when they get here, they'll see there's like 3 or 4 stairs. They're like, oh my God, there's stairs here? Yeah, there's stairs, buddy. If you were smart, you would have called. When I go DJ in any location in the United States of America, we call the venue. How big is your space? How many guests? Because we're not gonna bring 5 speakers for a small venue that holds 50 people. Okay? If you're a professional, you're smart, contact the venue. When DJs call me or vendors call me, give them information. So when you're renting from a company, delivery should include setting it up, right? So what happened one time was they had arch. They came with the arch. They dropped it off right over there. They brought it up the steps and left it right there, and they left. Now, when that happened, obviously my staff sees it. We're thinking they're gonna come back in and set it up. No, they left it right there, which means that someone had to carry it right here. Now, what happened when the vendor came, the decorator? She goes like this. She grabs it and she starts dragging it across the floor. My staff says, stop. Stop right there. We're gonna help you because you don't drag this, okay? I don't care what floor it is. I don't care, you don't drag it. This is heavy wood. You're not gonna destroy the floor or anything of that nature because as a vendor, if you break something, client pays. There's a security deposit. You break, client pays. Clients, here's another thing. Make sure your vendors know that, okay? Because a lot of vendors don't care. They don't care about the venue because they made their money already. They're gonna come, do whatever they gotta do, and they're gonna leave. So we helped her bring it here and set it up, okay? And that was not good because she paid for delivery. It should have been set up already, okay? That's very important, all right? Now, that same event, the rental company never came to pick up. Ignored the calls, ignored everything, and unfortunately I had to charge the client for overnight storage. The client called the rental company. Rental company said, oh, we're not gonna refund you that. You know what the client told me to do? They said, don't give it back. I'm like, what? She said, we're gonna come pick it up. I said, okay. Now the client rented this space. The contract is with the client. Client came here and they took the arch. The client paid me for the overnight storage. The client took the arch and told the company, you'll get your arch back when you pay me back for your overnight storage that has to pay to the venue. Of course, the rental company paid her back. They got their arch, but there's a lesson learned for everybody. You don't do that. If you're renting stuff, you don't think that you're just gonna not answer the calls after the party, I'll pick up tomorrow. It don't work like that, bro. It don't work like that. Now, if that rental company would have came here and said, hey, that's my arch, I would have told them, that's not, I don't know you. The person who signed the contract to rent this space, that's theirs. Everything that was here from that night is theirs. So I don't know what to tell you, So be careful when you rent it from a company. Make sure you know what you're getting. Another thing that happened, this is another thing I just thought about. I'm on a roll right now, I'm telling you. One time a rental company came here, with 3 huge wooden arches. And they had just painted them that night. That morning, I'm sorry. They had just painted them. You could tell the paint was fresh. Bro, it stunk like heavy paint. And I'm smelling it, and I'm looking around to the clients. I'm like, do you smell that? They're like, yeah, what is that? I'm like, that's the arches. That smell like heavy paint. And it was unbearable. And thank God, the delivery got there right on time. There was 2 hours. We left the windows open, we left the doors open. We had the air blasting to suck some of that air out of here because it stunk. I told my entire staff, if anyone complains about that smell, you let them know. The client who threw the party, we're gonna name her Hessica. Just made it up. Hessica, who invited you to this party, she brought those arches here, and that's what stinks like pintura, okay? You're not gonna blame the venue because it stinks like pintura. This place doesn't stink, it smells outstanding, it smells amazing, okay? If you come here with arches that smell like paint, we have to let it be known, okay? Because that smell gives people headaches. Imagine having to eat. Another thing that happened, oh my God, my brain is all over the place. Bro, I never knew this was a thing. If it is, tell me in the comments because I never heard of it. Spray painting flowers. I guess it makes sense, right? If it's a fake flower, you can spray paint it. But how does it make sense to spray paint them here? So that means that you put the flowers on the table and then you spray paint them. Shh. Do you not know that the entire place is going to stink like that? And that the smell of that is going to reek into people's faces while they're eating? There's so many things that occur that make me want to say, you know what? I'm not going to allow clients to do their own decorations anymore. I'm not going to allow vendors to come out decorate here no more because it's not worth it, bro. It's not worth it for me to rent this place for $3,000 to then have other people come in here and destroy it or make my place look bad or smell bad. And then when I told that client, you can't do that, he's like, oh my God, why not? It's common sense, but again, vendors don't care because this is not their place. They got paid to do decorations. They're gonna come do decorations. They're gonna leave. They don't care. They got paid already. Gotta be careful when you're booking these things, man. It's important, you know. There's nothing better than a professional vendor. I've worked with a lot of professional vendors who I love and I appreciate and I respect, who I trust, who I say, you know what? I don't feel like you have to be monitored while you're working in my venue because I know you and I trust you and I know you do a good job. You know, I've had people drill holes in my walls. I've had people, do this. They'll go to the wall and they'll look around, see if I'm not looking, and put some glue or some tape on the wall. Like, bro, there's cameras all over the place, bro. This is why venues are strict. This is why owners are strict. This is why I'm strict, because I want to protect my place. I want to protect the environment. I want you to do beautiful decorations. I want everything to look amazing. And it makes me, nothing makes me happy to see beautiful decorations and everything set up successfully on time. It's a beautiful feeling, you know what I mean? And I just want everything to go smooth, you know? When vendors have attitudes with me because we have rules and regulations like, oh, why we can't block the stairs, or why we can't do this, or why we can't have volcanoes off the chandeliers. Bro, you can't have volcanoes, bro. We can't do volcanoes. You shouldn't have to ask why. As a vendor, you go to a venue, if there's rules and regulations, if they tell you can't do something, do not ask why. It is what it is. Say, okay, no problem, okay? As a DJ, I worked in 1 million venues. If I put my setup somewhere and they said, hey, I'm sorry, you can't do that, you have to move it to the right, no problem, I'll move it to the right. I'm not gonna say why. Why not? Why can't I do that? It doesn't matter why, because whether you ask why or not, the rule doesn't change. You have to follow the rules, okay? Now, I'm gonna do another video after I think about what to say, okay? Because right now I'm freestyling all of this, and it'd be more organized if I had maybe like a little paper list or something, like a little paper that told me what to talk about back to back. It might be better like that, you know what I mean? Because right now I'm just freestyling off the membrane. And if I keep freestyling off the membrane, I'm gonna be here forever talking shit, you know what I mean? And I'm not a shit talker, actually I am. But I back it up, okay? 500.
500.